Otro video para ti hoy. Want to go over this problemo that I finally rectified. Groove music not starting, and then I found some potential fixes for Windows 10, caveat emptor, potential fixes. None of these might fix your issue. One of these might fix your issues. I don't want to see comments on my YouTube channel where you didn't fix my issue. That's why I moderate all comments now. Now, on my computer, Groove Music application on Windows 10 quit working after a recent Windows 10 update. I'm pretty certain it was the November 8, 2016 update last month. I don't use this application. I don't use Groove Music, but I kind of get annoyed when applications don't work on my computers, and I thought I'd try to fix it and so that I could help other people out and write a blog post and make a video. And I will include a link to this blog post at anetcomputers.com so that you can read it on your own accord. There's a link to another website where I got these solutions. That website has a couple other solutions that you might want to go over if none of my solutions work, or if none of these solutions work. Initially, Groove Music, I would try to open it and it would just close after a few seconds. It would show up the blue and then the Groove Music, and then it just disappear. The first thing I tried, and let me make sure I transition correctly. The first thing I tried was, the first thing I tried was to make sure the time and date is correct. So you go to your start, Windows 10 start, click on it, go to settings, which has changed. It's the little gear icon. They changed it. It was labeled, but Microsoft just whatever. Select the gear icon, go to time and language. It's the first one on the second row on the left. Time and language, speech, region, date. Just make sure that your time is correct. Check another computer, check your Android, whatever. Just make sure it's close. The time is close. Make sure that you can also set it to automatically so that it will automatically sync. Make sure your time zone is correct. Mine is correct. Mountain time, 10 to 20 p.m. That's correct. Make sure the day, the time, and the year are correct. That can also affect Windows updates, believe it or not. Sometimes you can install Windows updates on certain computers, and a lot of times it's because you don't have the correct day, month, and year and time. But moving on. I don't want to go, digress over that. So that's the first solution. So just make sure if it's not correct, fix whatever is not correct with your day, month, year, and time. Then try to open up Groove. If that doesn't work, then you want to try, a system file scan. So right click Windows, go to command prompt, say yes. I don't know if this will show up on screen. Choose command prompt admin mode. You want to run command prompt as an administrator. Type in sfc/scan now. The command is in my blog post. You can copy and paste it if you need to. Hit enter. I'll kick it off, but I don't need to because it didn't fix it. This is a tip. Sometimes you have to run sfc scan more than once. I would recommend, especially if you notice your computer's running terribly, I would recommend you run it 3 times. I've noticed, and I've read on other websites, that if you run an sfc scan more than once, 3 times is a good number. Then a lot of times it doesn't catch things the first time. So there's a potential a second potential solution. Let it complete. It'll take some time. It's already at 4%. Depends on your speed of your computer. Depends on how many cores. Depends on how much RAM, etc. When it finishes 100%, it will tell you if it finds any problems. If it doesn't find any problems, it'll tell you that it didn't find any problems. and then go back to my blog post. That was the second one. Now the third one is a little bit different, but I'll show you on screen. The third one deals with libraries. So let me transition. And so on your taskbar, down below should be File Explorer. If not, go to your Start button, then choose File Explorer from, I think, under Windows System, and then File Explorer. Select the yellow File Explorer. It'll open up. On the left hand side, look for Libraries. You see it's a yellow folder and it's labeled Libraries. You want to right click each one of these and select Delete. I've already done this. So each one, you might have to do it one at a time. I'm not sure if you can delete them all at once, but select Delete. So you want to delete all four: documents, music, pictures, videos. This does not delete those. That doesn't delete those items. It just removes them from libraries. That's some kind of feature that Windows 10 has. Once you delete those, then go up to Libraries and then click on Restore Default Libraries. It doesn't delete those files. It just deletes the libraries. If you cannot find libraries, go up to View, select Navigation Pane, choose Show Libraries. You notice how there's a checkbox? If I uncheck it, now libraries disappear. If I go back up under View, Navigation Pane, select Show Libraries, they reappear and there's a checkbox. On my computer they weren't selected. I think maybe by default Windows 10 doesn't enable Show Libraries. And then any of these, if there's a check mark, that means it's enabled. If there's not a check mark, it means that option is not enabled. Once you have deleted your file libraries, also another tip is to remove your temp folder. Go to your C temp and then delete anything under temp. That you could probably do those at the same time as you delete your libraries. And then try to start Groove Music. If that doesn't solve your solution, then potentially this fourth one might, and probably, I don't know if it will or not. This one will require that you reinstall Groove Music. So we're going to close this, and then I'm going to transition, and I just want to make sure my software, nope, it's not, okay, it's not working 100%, or I have to get used to my screen capturing software. I've got all kinds of things going on. I capture my web browser, I can capture the desktop, the display, and then I also have the video. Obviously you can see me on video. The fourth and final step on my blog post, which actually worked, this fixed my issue. Although previously I've complained that Microsoft Edge doesn't work, and I went into the PowerShell and removed it and reinstalled it, that didn't fix it. Well, for whatever reason, that fixed Groove Music. So what you want to do, and all of these instructions are written in my blog post, all of them. I wrote a blog post with instructions. You can copy and paste. I describe how you get to these menus and get to the command prompt and get to the PowerShell. So we're going to transition again. This time we're going to go into the PowerShell, but you're going to right-click Cortana, or just, just left-click Cortana. Just left-click Cortana. Type in PowerShell. Choose the first one. The first time I typed in PowerShell, there were like 4 items. Pick the first one that says Windows PowerShell. Just select it. A blue PowerShell Windows opens, as you can see on screen. This is different than a command prompt. PowerShell is new to Windows 10. Windows 7, Vista, XP, 8. Well, did 8? I think 8 might have had PowerShell. Don't quote me on that. But I know Windows XP, Vista, 7, 2000, Millennium Edition, Ad Nauseam, Ad Infinitum, 95, they didn't have a PowerShell. I would recommend that you copy and paste this command. I'm pretty sure there's no spelling mistakes. If there's spelling mistakes, please let me know. Just copy and paste. Then in the PowerShell, you're going to just right click. When you well, I know you know how to copy and paste. Either right click, select copy, or Control C and then just paste it. run this command. It'll take a few. I'll run it again. I'll just show you. There, it's gone. It should have removed itself from the see how the tile is missing now, and you see how down here it's missing from the letter G. There is no more Groove Music. Now we're going to reinstall it. Now hopefully it works after I reinstall it. It should. I haven't made any changes to my computer besides this. Copy. I would recommend you copy this command so you don't have to type it in and save time. If there's any, I'm pretty certain. Well, the first command I know is correct because it didn't error out. And then this one shouldn't have any spelling mistakes. Whoops, wrong window. Just right click it, hit enter. Now it's going to reinstall. You may see some errors here, but it should have done. Oh, access denied. I'm pretty certain I chose. You know what? I might not have chosen this correctly. So PowerShell. Quickly, I don't want to make this video too long. Right click, run as administrator, say yes. That's what it was. That's strange. It allowed me to remove it. Okay, then paste it, then hit enter. You should see that in PowerShell. Whenever it's doing something, it has green and yellow font. Now you may get some errors, but I still think it'll go through and it will reinstall PowerShell. Excuse me. Reinstall Groove Music in PowerShell. You see there's an error, there's a red. I usually just ignore the red, but unless it screws something up. But whenever I've used PowerShell in order to, really the only times I've used it so far is trying to fix Edge and then trying to fix my start button that didn't work. So Windows 10 updates, at least for me, have been a disaster. Twice my start button right here quit working. I would click on it and it was just like with Groove Music, and it would try to open and then it would disappear. Same thing with Microsoft Edge. It would try to open for a couple seconds and then just completely disappear. I use PowerShell, and you get a lot of these weird prompts and red messages, and you see the errors down here. Deployment error. I wouldn't worry about those errors because before I ran this and it completed, and okay, now it's done. I wouldn't worry too much about these red errors yet. Go up to the command prompt. You see now that Groove Music is back and it is listed as a new item. Well, that's because I just installed it. Now select it. It should work. There we go. You see how did you see where Groove Music, when it first tried to open, it had that blue screen with the Groove Music? Before, it would open that window, but it would disappear back to my desktop. Now, obviously, Groove Music works. Now, I don't use it. Other individuals on the internet have complaining that Groove Music will open, but when they try to log in, it crashes like within seconds or a minute or whatever. I just don't know. I don't use this application. I don't have an account. So you might want to test first. If you have a Groove Music account, I would recommend you sign in and make sure it does indeed work. But obviously the application works now. Now finally, if you notice, I don't know if Windows by default, when you reinstall applications that are from the Windows App Store, whether or not, because the default application in Windows like Mail, Photos, Movies, and TV Calendar, Groove Music, they all had a tile. I removed most of them, obviously. Maybe they don't automatically add themselves if you remove and then reinstall. But a quick way to re-add the tile, if you want a tile, is you right click on Groove Music, you pin to taskbar, and then bam, there it is. I've disabled the live tiles, but that's another video discussion. There we go. It works, and it was the option number 4. Hopefully one of my options works. Like I said at the beginning of this video, potential. This is a potential fix video. One of these 4 might fix your issue. They might not. If they don't fix your issue, I would highly recommend you go through my blog post, make sure you performed every step, and then check out, and I will transition check out this individual's blog post where I obtained some of this information. He has some other additional tips. You know what I'm saying? I went through them, and then bam, the fourth one fixed it. And I was like, well, you know what, I'm going to write a blog post, and at least for me, it solved my issue. Adios.